Mr. Talam se total mara adal orang setiang oi gazmalang tanga te kukso dal kora introduce tiragal teru profession Poland tiragang am rirang isel tel bukol digit makli sel kamitil sharing a former minister Tina gimgit makli tel bukol KUBARII mo o tokora Miguel el otro la museum tiragang amlo amanom asan ni tiriang sa isilabuk ang KUBARII adra blura Poland martir sera era Kramer en blame tiragang amle ko omdida ultilo ilang KUBARII ko man interested ro masa semlor geltanga usubera sela blura mecronisel mal isela blura do is KUBARII ma blura Poland menso kalmo siogar tigal terul rubak nang tangat ko mo sa trira tiga rubak raksel klol bulu ma ang gagid ngara klisier Professor Aleksander, Professor of Anthropology from Warsaw, Poland. Sen gal
Wojciech.
ngabitar niya Professor Father
Of anthropology.
Professor of Anthropology tigal terung Wojciech. Tigal terung amna retire. You've retired professor.
As you can see.
So maksudnya kalau utal te alo kum sa atina musesel gil tigal te segidel telomber
malungit tuta Salvador Talamsa Multuta Director Museum. Good morning to both professors from Poland,
It's a pleasure to be here.
Alexander and Wojciech. Akmal ko to kami nila to wala. Okay. Trigal ruter ruba ka mal katat meron ko tangartial belaw maulit KUBARII Cerebral Valley Director Museum. Ngaki del KUBARII amle raw era Kramer. Oo, mang mlartiang engka direkli siya ikalkuk isel belaw mabululap maruk mabolabe. Emnora bulabe emlob ira bolabe. Ending ka ruba ka KUBARII kapnantang talam selengkal ruba ka ang KUBARII kautel singari ang klela kubaga KUBARII klela maas KUBARII klela ruba.
Grandmother ka mama KUBARII.
Ako grandmother talam sa
his grandmother.
Oo, KUBARII kung kaya ruba ka na ngiwal ako KUBARII. I say. So, KUBARII's name in Palau is known and his
For
Palau
men and women.
men and women, I say. So mangkam lora bolabe mangkera bolabe lobil mlerbela man klara urel. Tel lurore talam sa mak na klara leleng. Dekal biota o idela ba hong. Al motora ambigel. German to English. But tegi da ekam denger sel kim got tumurungim le ngari kamiti domodol nga sing Kramer Ethnography the Translation Committee milakot tulorol gire sel ku khongara Kramer mga regel hong sevenal hong al melus emlomrek segid aki uklamur tegi del hongara KUBARII ekidahmal ekot tembing la skill ndia kadil dosikar adol lyuda toy dosikar adal ma al ma kukom skirange suraudo betul ada lagi kan. Misalnya top dan wang gakit, ekonom tas setiam lewang rawa, berdera olel melmuter top dan nauhong. Mang ditagi del buke mlo toka imel moringi ma ul basul moringi ma omel usul girel maskela udo del girel.
Ako raw remember ka lam odori is homosexualele. Homosexual legal, mga translation in English. Maltela ragal homosexualele gam no sa
ang selar ara dim la olel la do sigaring dem hanam of torak nga kamla na museum more than 30 years. Mergo nga kasi guknamot timela pial guk wa algo matiang akim got meruringira SPL selbetigel ku komptera do isel merbela ultiga set anorican salt ambassador nga huriping merbela en kadam lo startel mga tmok sikas kela angiso SPL mang engagi del Thomas Schubert mga tega tulom tera do isang arbelaw mangogi segid kadama osikaro la dod madoy sam le kotolo dasa ngesora askela auto kadama 2010 kamsa segid la rakmara ke kol mete dengan 2010 kita bros edolo mu ora Kramer 2010 momre ka 2010 le keneto emel ko ngi asika auto tel la KUBARII
ay laman na change ra agu pebira process ma system gide etinale ingramo ngagorta dimlagal admissible like informational dimlara Kramer malam na tel KUBARII di goreng setem lamo startel
o moi say la dia ngaranga ay kem le dokotel mai na piam dengi gidi kelem le do sing rough translation program rigel sa HARF files sa in Harbor, Michigan. Nilikel mal dim rough translation na Kramer. Laro mga raul mamloy si talams. Auriram kamat imrigel belong adre dergit etaraul pelu. Takpotial belang wangara tiretele la tong adre dergi. Batamlo si Krolel mangmal di cell volume 2 si dablel kotel lo si ka rolel etolu dergi. Mang la selta magdam la ngela Amerika soldar Amerikel Navy administration tinglu say the volume to Kramer and Mora oidir matya amane di rough translation el kwadi kal salmal mlawat yagit esegi de tamlam dengla si hotel pela dongo de dergin wara masegi dem lorgit tigel ada Amerikel mlel al batigal anthropologist tigel asitam grado rur tablu magado sensei masegi de gaul mo segi del segi del hong al melus el kere la blur belaul segi dara masegi da ul magadam lo stat tel ko mom tanom de ni miguel se tigat to ngaral blua adorur tertir adorur tertir
ومترجم له التورة جاي del buco ملو سمرغوي
sidamle initial sidamle ulel waisi
mal interesting ay gal belu se lora el masubak langar kakuru se blura blula
mga tetelil belu mga anthropologist segit
tira mga dirtir
lesel waisi kabo
anyway halakok tungul mesti tiga ruba kam dokora
oh tiga tamle magar kami mo ay set mo tigal
okay so I will give you the an opportunity to tell our audience how you came about your trip to Palau and
thank you very much for the invitation of being here and sorry that I'm not able to speak Palauan like our, let's say, Polish hero from the 19th century who spoke Palauan fluently.
Give us 2 years and we'll speak.
But wait, I hope that after a couple of long experience of being here, we would be pick up some knowledge. Anyway, we are really very proud to be here for many reasons, but the most important reason is that Jan Stanislav KUBARII or Johann Stanislav KUBARII is so strongly recognized by the Palauan nation. We didn't know about this during, let's say, the whole our life in Poland. The situation is just contrastive. In Poland, for many, many years, the KUBARII was not almost mentioned. He was forgotten as an anthropologist. Really speaking, if you look at his of KUBARII's output, he was one of the first Polish anthropologists of this capacity. So now our task of both anthropologists, Wojciech and me, is just to revive the memory also in he is not so important because KUBARII's achievement, but in our country is the task to revive his activity, his enormous work, to establish on the basis of this KUBARII achievement some kind of friendly relationship within the research between Palauan people and the Polish people. And first time, it is a good question you ask me. In which way we just managed to come to Palau? It was just, we were thinking to track the biographical, let's say, shine of KUBARII to reconstruct his biography. And first, with Wojciech, his idea, you know, maybe we will go to Pompeii, to the grave of KUBARII.
So this is when you have already retired. So you have more time.
Oh
to
no,
focus
we were
on
tired.
KUBARII.
We were tired. Yeah, yeah.
And we like graves.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, really. So, and we knew that there is a grave over there. So maybe we will start our study on KUBARII's life story from the grave of KUBARII. But suddenly one day, I remember this in the evening time, I looked at the pages of Island
Times.
Time, and I discovered suddenly I'm not joking, it was such a story, and suddenly I discovered the page with your photographs and with the photographs of the 2 volumes of KUBARII. I said, Jesus Christ, it's unbelievable that so far from Poland, such a new editions, the first, I would like to point it out, that all these editions, 2 volumes, are the first in the world translated from German 19th century reports of KUBARII into modern English, and you have done a wonderful job, you know, not only for own nation, for own people, but for all the world, because now this text is available for everybody, for any kind, anthropologists, historians, geographer, linguist. It's enormous work. So we decided just, you know, immediately to change our itinerary and to go to Palau. This is the story.
Thank you.
And
Wojciech?
another thing, you know, okay, I spent nearly 30 years in Oceania.
Okay.
So there are 2 Polish heroes, KUBARII and Malinowski. Malinowski done his research on Trobriand Island, but he spent only 3 years. But I was always, you know, when I was kind of reading, or, you know, because I spent so, you know, long time here, so I was always wondering how he could survive 27 years
In Palau, in the ocean,
in the
region.
in this area, and doing research. But at the same time, for me was, you know, easier because I could go to Poland anytime.
From Papua New Guinea.
Yes, he couldn't. Because
At the time, yeah.
because Poland wasn't free at that time. Well, Poland was divided between, you know, our land was divided between Russians, Germans, and Austrians. So even when he was leaving Poland, he had to go to Germany or to maybe Holland to come here, because from Poland he wouldn't be able to travel here. So because of this, and I was wondering, you know, he was squeezed between, you know, he was very proud of being Polish, even when he was living on a German, you know, ship. He was standing and singing Polish anthem, you know, and he was writing letters in Polish language
to mother,
to his mother, you know. So I was kind of, you know, it's not only as an anthropologist, but as a human being.
and a part of our history, of your history.
Yeah, he survived here so long, and he enjoyed being here. You know, and he done such an enormous work. Okay, about Malinowski, everybody, we would say, from anthropological work knows about Malinowski. And about KUBARII, even students in Poland do not know. In many students in Poland do not know. And another thing, we are very strong, you know, like Polish, doing our research in Africa, Asia, South America, but not in Oceania. I would say I am only one who was doing research. So my dream was always, you know, to do something to bring KUBARII into life.
Yeah, but for you, for us, the KUBARII is our ancestor, intellectual ancestor.
Ah, yes, yes.
So this was, you know, the situation that even I was sick. I was I was thinking I will never come, but you know, now I will be coming again. You know, because KUBARII was very close to my heart. One way because he was here. Another way, I went in Papua New Guinea to Vulu and Awa, to two islands, and when I mentioned about KUBARII, he was over there, he visited them, and he helped them from here to escape. They were working as slaves. So when I mentioned about KUBARII, my God, at evening there was such a big party, and they said, you know, he's not our anthropologist, he's our king.
From Papua New Guinea.
Yeah, he's not our chief, our king. They were singing, calling, you know, and crying, and, you know, eating together. He is our king because he helped our people, like the chief said, to go back to Vulu and Awa. You know, so because of this, you know, okay, in Australia, I spent some years in Australia. Yeah, in Australia he's known, KUBARII, but only in Poland that we knew so little about him.
Yeah, but the similar situation is also in the neighboring country, in Germany. Before our coming to Palau, I spent a couple of weeks traveling across Germany, visiting different museums, seeking some items, collecting by KUBARII sending from Oceania to the German museums. And really speaking, all these items, there are an enormous number of items, artifacts, cultural artifacts, weapons, clothing, traditional clothing, figurines, things like that, but not on the exhibition. They are, you know, in the magazine, on shelves, in the hidden places. I couldn't see even these objects. And the Germans didn't, until now, they recognize his work for Godefroy. He was working for the Godefroy trade company. But, you know, the Germans didn't made any effort to republish all this work. No. You know exactly how it was difficult to find all these publications, you know, dispersed in 19th century journals. But anyway, we both, I guess, Poles, Germans, and the third part, Palauans. No, Palauans are now on the lead, on the first place, you know, in recognition of KUBARII. Our duty is now to do maybe some small step within our country, you know,
because
to publish something in Polish.
Because the situation is, okay.
Because you don't have this in Poland.
No. For Germans, it's difficult because they would say, okay, we colonize.
Yeah.
So we would have to say we are sorry.
But not Poland.
No, but not
Poland.
Not colonized.
Not Poland.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
We were colonized by Germans.
You were.
Yeah.
We were.
We too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we have that in common.
Yeah, we have to have a drink for that. That we survive.
So okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was born. No, I was living for many years in this part of the Poland, which was occupied 130 years by Germany. So there are some common things in the history between Palauan history and the Polish history.
And it's really helpful for you to be here, and we are grateful for that as well, because now the door has been opened for communication, travel, but most of all because of the academic work. We talk about physical development. This is mental development, this book.
Yeah.
And now we hope that you will spread the word in Poland through your university, because I'd like to mention 3 people who work with us from Germany. is Thomas Schubert, who is honorary consul of Germany to Palau. Mandy Etpisong, who is an honorary consul of Netherlands to Palau, and Constance Dupont Yano, who is an anthropologist. And that has kind of brought up light to this whole publication work. And the whole kind of like a spiritual being in a way that has come alive, and KUBARII is now alive because we are talking about him. And it's again, as you say, a really classy work. It took a while for these people, for Mandy, Thomas, and Constance, to comb the European museums and art galleries and institutions to look for photographs. So that's why it took a long time, but now we are faced with this. And it's good to have you here, because then you're a testimony to the fact that you found out about this, you're here, and his grandmother is KUBARII, and that has even expanded the horizon much bigger.
No, but we're just happy you're here, so you can make a new connection and relationship between Palau and Poland.
Yes,
especially in this situation in the world.
Yes, and I think I would say people would, because we have KUBARII name, KUBARII, a male KUBARII and a female KUBARII. The name was adapted into our culture, and
it
we are
has
really
become
proud
so they know.
to hear such
And selling this book at the museum, it's more, we've sold more of this KUBARII book than Kramer's volumes. Maybe because
he's more handsome. He's more handsome on the covers.
Maybe it's cheaper.
Yeah,
It's
but,
only
you know.
$85, but it's more popular than the
and
Kramer's
KUBARII
volumes.
is already a household name in Palau.
Yes.
So
Yeah, but
it's
you know,
everywhere.
when we came, it's not just to do research. We kind of notice we are accepted here.
Yeah.
It became like
From the very beginning.
like a friendship. Is for us, we walk, you know, so freely. We come here so freely because it's not just, you know, okay, big boss meet, you know, big boss, but on a friendship way. You know,
But
it's
you
very
mentioned-
important.
You mentioned Constance. Really speaking, she is a wonderful lady, and the first contact I established, you know, with the idea to come to Palau was thanks to intervention of Constance. He wrote me a letter to Poland, let's say, saying that I must, along with my colleague, to come to Palau.
So we should always appreciate the German connection.
But German living on Palau.
Now we have a very good
relationship, of course. Let me say that the Palau volume, there's a foreword by our Paramount Chief, High Chief Raklay, from the west side of Palau, the east side, the Federation, and he wrote the foreword. As you can see, it's written in Palau in English, and he's saying that KUBARII came to Palau in 1871, as we have at the age of 25 years, and he spent many years traveling throughout Palau doing his research. And one of the, in 1872, Raklay mentioned that he saved many Palauan chiefs' lives as a result of influenza epidemic. Yeah.
It's biggest in the world.
Yeah.
Influenza of that time.
That's right.
50 million people were.
And it was
eliminated.
worldwide.
And we came during COVID.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's something in common.
So there's a connection there. Yeah.
There is a connection there.
And he learned to speak Palauan fluently.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why he was able to research and talk to Palauans, because of his knowledge in Palauan. And being an anthropologist, he was able to talk the cultural concept of research, which also, that's why he collected many information and photographs.
He was also experienced in the medicine, because he
Yes.
completed not the study of medicine, but 2 years of the medicine.
At only 25 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He had the time to get married.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and went to Pohnpei, came
Yeah.
back. Yeah, And we understand that the people in Reclay from Malgog at that time gave him a title.
Yes.
So he had a chiefly title in Malgao. And so he is revered in Palau as who saved the Palauans from influenza, epidemic influenza. And so we're glad that you are here and you're witnessing the fact that he played a major role in the Palauan society.
And in the Palauan history, and
As a man of peace, too.
yeah,
man of peace,
as
exactly.
a man of peace, as
Yeah.
a man of negotiation, as a man of respect, I guess, for the culture of
Right.
the Palauan people,
Right.
you know. And he, from let's say anthropological point of view, the culture is changing all the time. And now it's modernized. Many probably many traditional items of your cultures are disappeared, but they are here in
That's right.
on the pages of KUBARII's book, and it's really very nice that you developed such an idea, you know, to translate
Yeah.
this for own people and for the world. So it's
And for
thank you very
Polish
much.
people.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
We have also an idea, not to take some fragments of the different KUBARII reports, put together with some commentaries and published in Polish, just to show to our nation how important KUBARII was for the Palauan people, for the Pohnpeian people, for the Micronesian people.
Right, right. And I just hindi akalmut talaga di may talang sa.
We are.
I just received a message from our listener that when KUBARII came to Palau, he went to live in Melgeok in the area called Ularoro,
Uladoko.
in Uladoko
Uladoko.
in Melgeok.
Yeah.
That's where the president of Palau Community College
House is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
So that's good information to
Yeah.
have.
so you can also visit that place.
Yeah. And then
We
maybe
can-
get a chance to meet the president
have.
of a college who is
Yeah.
whose house and the family house
Yeah.
is from where KUBARII
Yeah.
stayed in Malgao.
This is what he said, you
Right.
know, when
Yeah.
we were talking to him.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
so-
a very interesting meeting with the president. He also mentioned that he is not he's not going, you know, to accept this idea of the empty grave.
Right.
Yeah, you know the story.
Very clever. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a caller. Can we put him
Oh,
on the air?
yes, yeah.
So it's okay.
Okay, maluil tuta caller nga raer.
Mututa mudrong Salvador mututa le wat tilang yang atalo remse Maria Gagal Masel lo 107 argil mladra last year direka lulu ay so sia aklama deringi KUBARII mikira amalgeok rablu ang rubusang la ularo ang arbitra selba ang rubusang ang amalgeok nila sel Maria alat selba del maral moremel oh merko nyam lekir se merko bulu sagel guk telela guk adra amalgeok mal hospital lekir se nem ko tektel time dia ko ngila aglagal maasa diwasing dia ko sing melara melabul di mal lepa materi asing le kersei mukuk merura angad aurel gidela atas hospital sulang blal ber keria dia kal ularoro sulang
Rang rubisang kamaran masawling uraroro nga telo misel bung ularoro rang rubisang.
Oh.
And he mlekker segid ye melusa ge roguye and dam translate this call. The caller just said his mother or
Who
his
passed
grandma
away.
who passed away
Last month.
last month or
Last year.
last
Yeah.
year
Last year.
lived 207 and she remembers KUBARII who stayed in Rubasang where she stayed in Malgayok and was documenting and talking to people and writing all information about Palau and the culture and the people and their way of life.
So we have to visit her grave.
Yeah, so you have to visit her grave.
Yeah.
So you might find out
Her
where.
grave?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk to the caller later,
Yeah.
and if you want to visit
Yeah.
that area, maybe we
Yeah.
can arrange
Oh,
your
yeah.
trip there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you leaving Palau?
On Friday.
Friday
So-
evening.
So you have time to visit.
No.
Yeah.
We'll get in touch with our caller and
Okay.
see
Yeah.
what we can do to
So
take
that's
you
why
there.
this is good, because the callers are now are
Yeah.
calling in and putting in piece of their information that they know about KUBARII. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we are very happy.
Yeah. Come on, Kuka.
Sige naman di sadoy atau orang besar dengan latihan lokoi. Kagi del atau merula uria lo panggil kami ti merula kagi del babi el mal close to telel. Imorning available mer other vela madal tera medium. Ya adra maklol belua am asar ndira abla teruru rio. Mal close impact ngin di kita kura. Look timrul because in nanya kada merul yang yura omsu ma history ma culture gila del mamdringa lo así porque dire karamal lo karamo wal tangatra adra gal merul maklol belul mlen memsu bergi del mu usmum sab adra mamdringa lo siqdam le wangarang ning aku kangar kita share time ma
Gere de la mrenga soleme pia mangkal tina
atina
mlamo over dori irsel lo sikrole le mergoe the translate igal mo English maigang mlamo partra knowledge sergidra khat surgid mo man lewa ngara hoy mo mlamo uspe abebi raigagi the knowledge el bla recorda KUBARII men mutrela man aigagi de awal uodel toy el bla de le lo que va khat surgid el agdam mlamo apply
Why say?
maklo tutele gere mrenga suli
Hindi ako why say sa talams kam sulang le kong dimlak tirgagi del KUBARII marbebir al mlay kam sangkar al merbelan 25 years old. Lui maimar gil at. Mlel roit tibela masubat tokol bela manglo subel matangtiar ate mal aikel mal ko makail ker luker adam lo subel mai. Magkadokar mal merenga saule oldang selvasing kita telo masya singar adim la atata ar mel lang mabli tama atele tama adonga usa swale tama doru labu ma dorang lentir ka gidal adal mara robulurire ngara dial dim na arwa email mas ko giba tamna dial legal ospe astib ay ospe ay tungol yeah so and we're very, very grateful that you were able to find out about this through media in newspaper, and then you travel the globe to get here.
Thank you very much. And
yeah.
Okay,
thank you very much, and we hope that after coming back, we will be able, also in Poland, to let's say, to disperse information about KUBARII. But mostly important for us is to say to our people how KUBARII is here in Palau recognized in different ways, by books, by names given to kids, and by memory, which is still alive on KUBARII achievements. So
and not only to say about KUBARII, but about Palau, because Palau is in Poland, when you say Palau, is a diving spot.
Yeah, diving spot.
And now we can say no.
We have one overstayed in Filipinos on weekend, and already our consul present here in Palau arranged for us a meeting from our ambassador in Manila with one aim, to discuss with the ambassador what we both, not we both, but what both countries can do as a first step to develop some kind of relationship on the basis of the common hero, who is KUBARII, of course. So it's a good information for us that even ambassador is thinking about doing something more than only reconstruct the KUBARII memory, but to develop a cooperation.
Will be kind of a waste of time. We would go to Poland and everything would die.
It would be.
We have to kind of exchange of students to do more research, anthropological, archaeological, to bring to life into this relationship.
That's right.
Maybe some students would be able from Palau to come to study in Poland we have universities not only with the Polish language, which is a natural thing. I'm really very proud of you that you preserved vivid language in everyday life. But okay, it was a time in Poland that our language was also, suppressed by Russians and by other. But now it's a leading language. But at the university life, simultaneously the instructions are going in English
and in Polish.
and in Polish. So it's
In
for
every university.
for foreign students, it's no problem, to join the track with the English language.
English.
Right,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And let me say that we also learned about, as we were always curious
Yeah.
when we saw Kramer's book, KUBARII's book, and we also had Japanese people who came and also documented it. So we
Yeah.
worked to translate the Japanese works into English. But the reason why we were looking into how do we translate this, we were curious. I mean, what is talked about Palau? How do they talk about us? Because we see pictures, but we cannot read German or Polish, so there's no way we would know about us. And so, in terms of from your perspective, and so that's why we really worked hard to get them translated.
Because like even in Poland, many people, those who knew about KUBARII would say, "Oh, he committed suicide."
Yeah.
So it would be a tragic, But when we say, okay, he was accepted as a chief, he was, he's well respected, even, many people, they have his names, become in a different, life.
Yeah.
And you will also advertise Palau to your community, to your university, to Poland, not only as a diving spot, but
That's right. It's
for cultural tourism.
It's some piece of, relatively isolated land on the ocean, on the Pacific Ocean, but related by one man with our history. So it's quite interesting, to mention about Palauan people, about Palauan culture, Palauan history.
People.
And including KUBARII. But we were talking a lot of some idea, maybe it could be done in the nearest future, to make a documentary.
A documentary
On, let's say, in the topic just at the center, KUBARII, and in the background, Palau, culture, ocean, Pacific, Poland, Germany, all this background.
Would be excellent.
And the tragic, and the the really tragical life of KUBARII from the beginning
Toward
of
the end.
that he had to escape from the motherland. He was imprisoned. He was put into the jail. Then he escaped. Then the lonely life as a foreigners all over the ocean, and finally the tragic economical situation and health situation of his last days in Palau. It would be a wonderful documentary.
Okay.
So that would be your turn to do now. Now
Yeah.
that you've done this, you do the documentary
Yes.
film.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah. So
It's
like-
good for you to visit here and to acknowledge his work and your plan to develop a documentary film.
Yeah.
And it has become a small world since KUBARII.
Yeah.
It took him maybe years
Oh,
to
I
come
see.
to these islands, but now it's only a matter of hours you're in Poland.
Yeah.
But the
And
documentary, okay.
Wojciech, you're a priest, right?
Yes.
Ngabadari. So you're a Catholic priest?
Yes.
Which order?
No, just a diocesan priest.
Oh, the diocesan priest. So,
No, not the Jesuit.
so we'd like to ask a favor from both of you. When you go back to Poland, to Warsaw, to please advertise Palau, we have something like this at your media to tell about your trip here, so that the Polish people can
It's
hear
our
you.
duty. It's our duty.
We'll do, because
Yes.
we love the spot here.
They will be
And
able
the
to see
people-
this on YouTube, so you can recommend to your students to look it up.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So when I mentioned about the documentary, I forgot to mention that it would be impossible to make any kind of documentary without your help
of course.
and participation
Of course,
on the equal
Of course.
on the equal levels. Not
Because There is we have a plan to make a documentary with a Jesuit priest
No.
over like the last 100 years of Palau, maybe during the German time.
Yeah.
It's still in the planning, but yes, that would be very
So he's going to have a long life. It's a
So we
priest.
count on you.
okay.
Yes, yes.
Very much so.
And we hope that you win election and you will
Yes.
invite us for the opening.
For the party, no, for the huge party with
Why
two
not?
peaks.
Because when I looked, I said, oh, the face I know.
Is there a sign of winning or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we're coming to an end. So if you
Yeah,
have
okay.
any last words
No.
to say to our
We
audience.
like to say thank you. We're very happy here. We are very proud that we were able to come and to meet such a wonderful people. And we are not joking. We are saying because we are old, so we cannot.
You
pull
can say
your
whatever
legs.
you want to.
Yes. Yeah. We are very, very happy. And as Schwarzenegger said, I will be back.
I will be
back.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
I only support the same ideas. I never expected that in the very short time, it's really a risk for anthropologists. We know exactly that anthropologists should, like KUBARII, spend a lot of time, to establish some friendly relationships. So I was kind skeptical. We have only a couple of days. It will be very, very difficult. But it happens just opposite. Just from the beginning, and especially the second week of
Yeah.
our stay, it was,
Unbelievable.
packed full of meetings, of talking and developing our ideas. I'm really very
You're
satisfied.
becoming famous. You'll be on the paper.
Even
Island Times on Friday.
even busy, but feeling
but-
welcome.
Yeah.
So we're not tired.
In our hotel, the reception lady said, "You are very busy. What we are going? All the time, down and back to the street, to some meetings."
We are saying losing our way.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks very
I
much.
sent my wife. I'm working hard. I'm not lying on the beach.
Oh yeah, he has to report.
Amal
Okay,
mo sa uli.
malis sa uli.
Tala, mas amal. Tiyal-tiyal, mal maugir, marada mal. Sulang.